Hey, what's up? Angela Mosley here with Modern Fit Moms. Welcome to your lower body workout for moms with prolapse. Now, I'm using quite a bit of equipment today, but that does not mean that you need all of the equipment I have. I'm going to show you several different options. For starters, you definitely need some dumbbells for today's workout. I also have a bench, couch, or chair because we do have a hip thrust in today's workout, but you could do a glute bridge instead. I also have a long monster band anchored onto something sturdy for our split squats today. If you don't have a band, no worries, you can just do regular split squats. I do have a yoga block to elevate my knees to support my pelvic floor with our breathing exercise. I have a slider to do some lateral lunges with. You can use a sock on hardwood surface, you can use a coffee filter, or you can use a paper plate on carpet. And then of course I have a loop band as well for one of our exercises later today. I'm also using the belly booty band belt, hip thrust belt, but you can use a regular dumbbell instead. And then I also have some wedges for an elevated squat, but you can use dumbbells for that. Just make sure that you're using wearing shoes because that can be a little bit uncomfortable on your heels. By all means, like I said, these are just simple props that I like to use, especially for someone who has prolapse. It can feel better in your body and help you work through some barriers. So we're going to go ahead and get started with breathing down on the mat with that yoga block. If you want more in-depth workouts and more in-depth programs, make sure you check out the Fit Mom membership where you'll get access to all of my programs specific for prolapse, leaking, and diastasis recti. And then once you've gone through that, then you can move on to our more advanced programming. All right, so grab your equipment, grab your yoga block, and let's get started down on the mat. Okay, great. Go ahead and grab your yoga block. We're going to come into an inverted breathing position. So you're going to place your knees on your yoga block, and then you're going to drop the elbows down. This is going to help support bringing that prolapse back down and in. And our goal is to work through diaphragmatic breathing. So I want to think about pressing my elbows into the mat to push my body away so that I get an opening in the back. Now I'm going to inhale through my nose, and I want to think about expanding the breath into the rib cage and expanding the breath down into my pelvic floor. Now, on that exhale, you're going to think about fully letting that breath come all the way out, and then you're going to gently compress the abs. And then you're going to try to breathe with that gentle core brace. So inhale through the nose. Exhale, let all of the breath come all the way out. Then hold that gentle core brace and breathe again. Now I want you to think we're opening up through the back pelvic floor where a lot of women have some posterior pelvic floor tension. So we want to think about blooming in that spot there as we inhale. Give me one more good one. Awesome job. All right, just place the yoga block underneath one knee. We're going to go into some hip shifting. So I'm going to press this knee into the block as I drift or suck this knee back up. So I'm going to drop down, inhale, drop down, opening in this space here, and then exhale, lift that opposite knee up. So you can keep the toes on the mat if you want, or you can pick them up. So again, you want to think about pressing in this knee into the block as you suck that opposite knee up towards the back of the pelvis. Go ahead and switch. So same exact thing, other side. I'm driving up and dropping down. So inhale here, nice opening. Exhale, suck that leg back up. So inhale, drop. Exhale, drive up. You can also do this on your elbows. That might feel more supportive. Awesome job. Go ahead, get rid of that. We're going to go into some rock backs. So I'm going to push my hands back and then pull them as I come up. So inhale, push back. Exhale, push forward. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. So you want to think pelvis is opening. We're not clenching our glutes here. Awesome job. All right, we're already on our hands and knees. I'm going to have you take one foot out and we're going to drop into some adductor rock backs. So now we're going to get into the mobility part of our warm up. So hips go back and then come forward. So I'm opening up through the adductors and those hamstrings, increasing our mobility. We need strength and mobility within the pelvis for a solid lower body strength workout. Awesome job. Go ahead and switch right into that other side. We have 3 circuits today, 3 rounds for each circuit. So the first circuit, you can go lighter to test out the waters, use it as a warm-up set, and then go heavier for the next 2. Awesome job. We're gonna come into a half kneeling position. I'm gonna drive forward, out at a diagonal, and then out to the side. Very important. My knees are going over my toes and my ankle stays on the floor. So it's connected to the mat. We're increasing ankle mobility, but that's also why we are using the wedges today to support ankle mobility in our squat. Like I said, if you don't have the wedges, you can use a dumbbell elevation. Go ahead and switch. Same thing, other side. So again, just opening up through the hips. Diagonal, and then out to the side. All the times the reason we can't build strength is because we're lacking mobility. So it's really important that we increase the range. Fantastic job. All right, find your way up to the top, and we're gonna get set up with our squat. So a goblet squat. You decide how heavy you go. Now, if you're using dumbbells for your wedges, you're simply gonna place 2 dumbbells up and you're gonna place the heel of your foot on this part here, okay? So it's just a little bit, not all the way, just on the heel. But like I said, that's why I would recommend using, what's it called? Shoes, if you're gonna use that, all right? So we're gonna inhale down, knees and toes face forward, come to a spot that feels good, and then you're gonna think about driving through the foot as you come up. So inhale down, exhale, push through the floor to come up. Okay, so I'm using a goblet squat style to support me in this. You can also use 2 dumbbells by the side, which I'll do that on that second round. Inhale down, and then I want you to think nice tripod foot. So big toe, outer edge, and heel of the foot as I drive up. So I'm pushing into the floor to come up. The elevated squat is helpful. Go ahead and rest for that ankle mobility. If you're lacking ankle mobility, then that squat is going to be very supportive of that. All right, we have our slider lunges. So I'm going to use my mat, move my mat, and I'm going to hold 1 dumbbell. Okay, I'm going to hold 1 dumbbell here. I'm going to drive out and then push through this foot to come in. Go ahead and join me now. So inhale down, exhale as I drive this foot in to come up, all right? So, like I said, you can use the sliders if you have them. There's some in the caption below that I love. Okay, this leg is very soft. It's very light. It's light as a feather. I'm inhaling down, exhaling, driving through this foot to come up. So nice, good glute squeeze. I'm able to sit back into my hip. You can use goblet style with that weight, or you can hold it down below here, all right? Awesome job. Go ahead and rest. So you have about 10 seconds. I'm gonna keep going body weight for this round. I'll add in that weight for that next round. All right, so drive out. I'm limited on my movement. So drive out and up. I might just get rid of that mat because we don't need it. So you might want to do body weight only to start as well. So I also do love working out barefoot because it allows me to connect with my feet better, which helps me to connect with my core and my glutes a lot better. All right, because like I said, we really want to make sure that we have a nice tripod foot, so I'm able to spread my toes and then I'm able to press into the floor to drive up. Go ahead and rest. All right, we're gonna go back to our elevated squat. I'm actually gonna move all of this because I feel like it's just in my way right now. So I apologize, that was not my plan, but hey, we're doing it. All right, so I'm gonna grab 2 25s. We are gonna go into that heel elevated. We are there. So you can drop down and then drive up. So again, you choose your depth of what works best for you, okay? That elevated squat helps with our range, helps you to sit back a little bit more into the glutes, which obviously helps us to activate the glutes a little bit more as well, okay? So you could choose goblet style or weights down at your side. Inhale down, exhale, drive up. Woo. 3, and rest. Fantastic job. All right, we've got our slider lunges. So again, you can do body weight only, or you can hold one dumbbell, you decide. Goblet squat or inside. I'm gonna hold on the inside. I'm gonna drive this leg out and come up, go ahead. So I'm inhaling on the way down, opening up, exhaling, driving that foot through the floor, activating those glutes. Whew. I am feeling it. Ten seconds to go. 3, and rest. Awesome job. All right, we got to go into that other side. I am getting warm. It was cold all day. Like, I'm gonna wear a long sleeve because I'm cold. All right, we are there. For reference, I'm using a 25-pound dumbbell. If I was not recording, I would probably use either 2 25s or maybe that one 35-pound dumbbell. Drive through that foot. So notice that my knees and toes are facing forward. I'm sitting into this hip. I'm breathing. Rib cage is back. 10 seconds. You don't have to go as far either. Maybe it's just here and up. Okay, go ahead and rest. Awesome job. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'm getting hot. All right, we have one more round of each. So our squat, heels elevated squat. You can also still do body weight. We are moving. Inhale down, exhale, drive up. Now don't feel like you have to go to my depth, okay? I've been training for a while now. I've gone through. My prolapse symptoms are very far and few between. Very important that you're connecting with your feet. Driving through all points of contact to push you up out of that squat. 3, and rest. Awesome job. And we're gonna go back to our slider lunges. We are done with these. I'm gonna set them out of the way. Whew. All right, we're actually gonna flip it to that side. I'm gonna see the difference. All right, drive out and in. Awesome job. Inhale down, open up, drive through that foot. So you're gonna get those glutes on board. We need those glutes, so important. 5 seconds, yes you can. Rest, you have 10 seconds to go into that other side. Whew. Yo, I am sweaty. All right, grab it, drop down, and drive up. So there's no exercise that is deemed as unsafe for women with prolapse. It's how we do it that matters. And I hear all the time, I get comments all the time on my social media. You shouldn't be doing that. That's not the right way. And to be honest, it really bothers me because it just goes to show the lie that we have been told keeps on telling, right? People keep on telling this lie that we, with Prolapse, go ahead and rest, shouldn't be lifting weights. And that is crazy to me because I've got 4 kids. We're gonna use our bench for our hip thrust. I'm gonna use the Bella Booty band, and then we're gonna use that band anchored onto something sturdy for our split squat, okay? So I'm gonna set my band up first, or my band is already anchored onto something. So first we have our hip thrust. So like I said, I'm gonna use the Bella Booty band. You can use one weight in your lap if that works better. Now you can use heavier weights for this, okay? So I'm gonna grab the Bella Booty equipment. I'm gonna come down, okay? I'm gonna inhale here, exhale, drive up. So you can use your weight in your lap. We are moving to drive up. So inhale here, exhale, drive. Anyway, what I was saying is, it's a lie. We should be lifting weights, okay? Just because we have prolapse doesn't mean we can't move. We just have to find what works best for our bodies, okay? I mean, my 5-year-old, I still carry him occasionally. Same thing with that squat. You want to think about pressing through the feet to lift up. Inhale down, exhale, drive. And rest. Safely place those weights down. I'm gonna grab 1 dumbbell. For reference, these are 220s, 220 pounds. All right, grab your 1 dumbbell. I'm gonna show you 2 different variations of this just because the band is anchored. So the first one, I have the band wrapped and pulling from that side. It's a split squat. So I'm gonna drop down, push through the foot to come up. Now, we are moving. I'm gonna explain it in just a sec. So if you don't have the band, you're just gonna do your split squat. All right, so what's happening here? This band is pulling me, right? So I have to work against it. I gotta work those adductors to stabilize. As I drop down and I push through, my adductors have to show up to the party. Adductors help lift the pelvic floor. They help engage the pelvic floor. So inhale down, exhale to drive. Keep moving. Inhale, drive. So otherwise, if you don't have that band, go ahead and rest. We have 15 seconds till we go into the other side. If you don't have that band, no worries. The split squat is still an amazing exercise for the pelvic floor. Okay, so this is your variation. You can choose which side, what you want to do. So here's the other option, right? Now the band is pulling me from this side. Go ahead and move. So drop down, drive up. So you're gonna work more of that glute med to help pull it out, to help stabilize. Okay, drop and lift. My husband was gonna help me put up some anchors so I could show you guys. Okay, so inhale down, exhale to drive. So depending on what your body needs, if you're someone who tends to cave in, this might be a little bit harder for you. You might collapse more, but by using that resistance can help strengthen that cave, right? So if you tend to cave your knees inwards, if you tend to collapse in those arches, go ahead and rest. By using the band can help you build up that strength there. All right, so you decide. For today's workout, I'm gonna do the band pulling from the left and then band same side, or difference. So, but anyway, you decide how you wanna use the band and where you feel like you need more work, all right? We're going back to that hip thrust, drive up. So inhale down, exhale, drive. My microphone battery apparently is dying, so I'm praying and hoping that it lasts throughout the entire workout because we have a circuit and a half and then a full circuit left to go. So if you notice something funky about the transition of today's workout, I probably will have to stop the video and start recording again. So please forgive me. Drive up. I charged them last night, so I don't know what the deal is. Go ahead and rest. Awesome job. All right. So again, if you just want to simply focus on your split squats, that is perfectly fine. All right, I want to give you guys options to help you feel better supported in your body. All right, we're gonna drop down, inhale down, exhale drive. Go ahead and move with me now. So inhale, straight down and up. The more hingy you are, you're gonna get more glutes, all right? So if I'm here, the band is gonna move. If I'm more hingy, I'm gonna get more glutes, right? If I'm more upright, I'm gonna get more quads. So play around with that of what works. I like glutes. I've always loved glutes, okay? Drop down, press through the floor. 10 seconds. I have a nice tripod foot. Whoo, and rest. Awesome job. So if you're doing the band at home, I want you to play around with it, right? Normally I would do the same variation, but I don't think you care to see my behind. So that's why I'm changing it up like this. So inhale down, exhale, push through the floor. So remember that nice tripod foot. Because we are using the band, holding it down at your side would be a little complicated. So I like this goblet style. Whew. 5 seconds. And rest. Awesome job. All right, one more round of each. So we're gonna go back to our hip thrust. I'm gonna grab a quick drink. Grab a drink if you need it. All right, one more round with our hip thrust. All right, we are there. Drive up. So the Bella Booty Band is a great way to increase your load, especially if you have used 2 dumbbells here and it felt hard on your hips. This is a great option to go heavier, especially if you don't have a barbell. So inhale down, exhale drive. Whew, I am feeling it. Go ahead and rest. Fantastic job. All right, we're gonna go back to our loop band. All right, one more round of each. 3, 2, and we're there. Drop down and drive up. I have a good feeling that my microphone is gonna die. I recorded the workout earlier, so I guess it's only good for one workout. Not what I was hoping for. Let's just get through this circuit and then I'll change out the battery. Not the battery, but I'll change out my mic. That's why I keep looking down. You got 10 seconds to go. Don't mind me. Inhale, exhale. Woo. 3, and rest. Awesome job. All right, we're gonna switch into that other side. She's still going, at least I hope so. I hope you guys can still hear me because this will not be fun to have to re-record. I'll tell you that. All right, we're there. Drop down and drive up. Whew. She's still going. 10 seconds to go. Three, and rest. Awesome job. All right, grab yourself a quick drink. I'm gonna put this bench, we'll put it like this because we are using it. So we're gonna use our loop band, we're also gonna use our one dumbbell. So I'm gonna show you two options. With the band, you're gonna wrap the band around the one thigh, okay? I'm gonna hold one or two dumbbells. This back leg is staggered, and I'm gonna hinge back. Knee stays over the arch of the foot, and then I'm gonna drive up through that foot. All right, so that's option number one. If you don't have the band, you're gonna place this back foot on the wall, and you're gonna hinge down and drive up. You're using the wall for guidance to get you into that position, all right? So go ahead, choose a variation that works best for you. I'm gonna use the band. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the band around my right leg. So again, I'm using the band, so my left leg is behind me. If you're using the wall, you're gonna place your left foot on the wall. All right, nice tripod foot. I'm literally going to hinge at my hips and then drive through my foot to come up. Now the use of the band is great to help pull that femur back into the socket and open up. So when we go into a hinge, it's really good to open up through the pelvic floor and through the glutes. That's why hinging is so essential for prolapse healing, because like I said, many women will have posterior pelvic floor tightness, and we really want to get in a good hinge. So hips go back, almost like one of my mentors said, imagine backing up into a parking spot. Your hips are being pulled back towards the back. Go ahead and rest. We're gonna go into that other side. So if you're on the wall, just switch your feet. The wall can be great for support in the sense, go ahead and join me now, that using that as a reference to back straight up into. So inhaling, ribs are stacked over the pelvis, driving through that foot to come up. That band is gonna help turn on those glutes just a tad bit more, especially if you really struggle to feel your glutes working. This band variation is my personal favorite. For a while, I really struggled with feeling my glutes in this position. Again, you can use 2 or 1 weights. You decide. I'm gonna continue with the 1 weight. Inhaling down, exhaling, come up. Last one, and rest. Awesome job. All right, now we're gonna go into our seated abduction. So I'm actually gonna move this around for better viewing. I'm gonna place this up above my knees, and I'm gonna just come into a tall position, and I'm just gonna open up. So inhale here, exhale, drive out. Okay, you can go fast, you can go slow, you can do more of a pulsing sensation. This is a really thick band. This is a new band I got from Hope Fitness. So it's pretty thick right now. So I'm already feeling this. I've only done a few reps so far, but yet I am already feeling it quite a bit. So I'm exhaling, opening up. We're really getting into that glute med. Awesome job. Inhale, exhale. I love adding in accessory work for my glutes at the end of my workout. Once I've worked my glutes quite a bit, go ahead and rest. All right, we have 2 more rounds just like that. So again, we're gonna go back to our deadlift. Whether you're using the band or the wall, you decide what options you have. So I'm gonna create some resistance so that band can pull me back. Inhale down, exhale, drive up. Now, the position of your weight does matter, okay? So if I had it on the outside, I'm gonna work more of those adductors. But because I'm holding it on the inside, I'm gonna work more of that glute med, which is going to help stabilize and offset that weight. So again, I want you to think about opening as you hinge and then activation as you come up. We want that good glute activation. So we're not squeezing the glute, but because I'm pressing my foot into the floor, this helps to naturally turn the glutes on, and this band, with pulling it back, helps to turn it on even more. Go ahead and rest. Awesome job. All right, we're gonna go into that other side, and we're there. So hips go back. I also like to think somebody is literally, there's a string on my sits bones and they're pulling it straight back, right? So it's pulling me back. Just my hips are going back. I'm staying nice and stacked here as I drive back. My knee stays over the arch of my foot. My knee isn't pushing back, I'm pushing forward. All right, we really want to be mindful of that. So a slight bend in your knee. Exhale to come up. 10 more seconds here. So my eyes are following, right? I'm just moving with my body. They're not go ahead and rest. When we change the position of our head, that's going to change the position of our rib cage and the position of our pelvis. So we want to make sure that we're just following it with our body. We're not looking up and we're not looking down because that will change the position. All right, go ahead. Seated abduction. You can play around with it. You can lean forward. You're going to activate more of that front pelvic floor. Of course, if you lean back, you're going to get more external. It's an externally rotated position, but the more you lean back, you're going to get more of that back. That's what I like to do up in the middle. Just kind of stay neutral right now. Inhale, exhale. Whew, I am feeling this. 15 seconds to go. Oh, yeah. We only have one more round after this. 5 seconds. 3, and rest. Awesome job. All right, one more round. And then we are done. We'll cool it off. All right, ready? And we're there. As you continue to do this workout, maybe 1 week, you're just like, okay, I'm just getting used to the movement patterns. Then the second week, you're like, you know what? I feel like I can go a little bit heavier. Maybe you go for 2 weights the second time you do this. Inhale. Like I said, if you're looking for a full program to get you back to doing fitness, the things you love, and you have prolapse symptoms, you're leaking, or maybe you're working through diastasis recti, make sure you check out the Fit Mom membership. Core lift is where it's at. Go ahead and rest, switch. You got 10 seconds. Core lift is my signature 12-week strength training program that helps moms of all ages and stages of motherhood. Go ahead and join me now. Whether you have just been recently diagnosed, or you're considering surgery, or maybe you've had surgery and things didn't go as planned, Core Lift is the strength training program for moms with prolapse and leaking and diastasis recti that'll get you from point A to point B. I am my strongest I have ever been. I lift heavier than I ever have before. After 4 babies, go ahead and rest. After 2 prolapse diagnoses, I had diastasis recti. I was peeing down past my knees, y'all. Like, no joke. If I can do it, I have no doubt you can too. All right, 5 seconds. Ready, set, and we're there. Push against that band. Open up through those hips. Woo, that's spicy. 30 seconds to go. Come on. If you want to make this harder, you can also place some weights here to open up. I've done that before, but this band is, like I said, it's brand new. I got it from Hope Fitness. It is thick and it's juicy. Holy moly, I am feeling this burn. 10 seconds to go. Yes, you can. We're going to cool it off in 5, 3, 2, and 1. Yowzer. Go ahead and rest. Place that band off to the side. Fantastic job, ladies. Whew. All right, let's cool it off. Let's give those glutes a good stretch. All right, so if you have your bench, great. I'm going to show you 2 options for this. So option number 1 is a pigeon pose on the mat. You can either hold here or bring it all the way down. Okay, option 2 for a little bit deeper is the pigeon pose with that bench. All right, so I'm going to hold here. I'm going to think about breathing into this spot, opening up through that hip area there. We just worked it so good. You can play with it up and down. You can rotate in and out, whatever feels good in your body, okay? I'm gonna move up and down. Woo. Awesome job. One more. And let's go ahead and switch. Same thing, other side. Oh. So you're getting a stretch in the glutes and those hip flexors. Awesome. So you can hold your pigeon pose, or you can move through this. Awesome job. Go ahead, take it off. Let's come on down to the mat. We're gonna come into a half kneeling pose. So I'm just gonna squeeze this back glute. I'm gonna get those quads. You're gonna hold here, or you can keep that foot down, okay? You don't have to pick it up, especially if you don't have the balance, that's okay. You continue to show up and do the work, you will regain your balance. Nice tripod foot is gonna help you. Awesome job, go ahead and switch. Same thing, other side. Fantastic. We're going to go ahead, come down to the mat. I'm going to come into a figure four. I'm going to lean back. Oh, got a hip pop right there. I'm going to think about pushing this knee into the floor and getting my breath here. Awesome job. Go ahead and switch into that other side. Some of you may be wondering why I don't wear shoes. It's very rare that I'll wear shoes for like more of that high intensity, high impact stuff, depending on what it is. Go ahead, come on up. We're gonna go into a cat cow, but we're just gonna move the pelvis. We're not gonna worry about that upper thoracic. So I'm just inhaling, sits bones open, exhaling, pubic bone comes up towards the sternum. I prefer not to wear shoes, just because I could feel through my feet more. And like I said, when you connect with your feet, you're gonna connect more with your glutes and your pelvic floor. Awesome job. Go ahead and sit back into a child's pose. Reach those hands out nice and long. All right, I've got one more pose for you. If you have a really heavy weight or something you can hold on to, we're gonna come into a deep squat hold. So my knees are together, they are not apart. This is gonna be great to get length back here. I want you to just think about inhaling into your back sides and down into your pelvic bowl, but not so much that you're bearing down. We don't want that. You can also use the yoga block, especially if you have limited ankle mobility. This is another option as well. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Last one. Let that breath come all the way out. Awesome job. Make your way to a standing, however you want to get there. Give me a good wiggle and a jiggle and a shake. Fantastic job. Like I said, if you're ready for something more in depth, make sure you check out the Fit Mom membership. Core Lift is where it's at for that full length video, full length workouts and programs specific to leaking, diastasis recti and prolapse and lifting. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.